From Niagara on the Lake, Red Roof Retreats, Steffanie Bjorgan joins the source right now. Steph, welcome.
Thank you.
Steph, providing programs, activities, respite care for young people and adults with special needs, and all of that canceled right now. A big impact on the community.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've been closed since the 13th of March. One of our locations in St. Catharines, which we share with Ina Grafton, one of their clients had the first case of COVID in Niagara. And so we'd been struggling with a strategy and a decision all week, but once that news came out, we knew it was best for our families and our staff to close. And it's been quite the shift, yes.
What are you hearing from those families that normally take part in your activities and services? How are they dealing with the stress of not being able to have these activities?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, our families were unbelievably understanding and supportive, which we really appreciated because it was not an easy decision to make. But, you know, at the end of the day, they want to protect their own loved ones. It is hard, though, because there's such a ripple effect. When you're providing a service that gives those families a break, and now, you know, the impact of them being home, I'm not sure how each family has managed to do it, whether it's affected their job. And then not having anybody come into their homes, they're getting no break at all. And, you know, if you're an aging parent and you're doing lifting and personal care, the pressures are huge, you know, on your body, on your mental state, on your emotional well-being. But it's also really hard for the clients who, you know, when I picture some of our clients, for instance, the ones that are very physically active or have autism, they need to move, they need to get out. And they don't deal well with change, and they don't deal well without a structure. So it's got to be so challenging, and it just breaks my heart.
You're dealing with some of those challenges in your own household with your son. And I imagine he misses all of the company that he tends to enjoy on a regular basis.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my son is quite medically fragile. He probably isn't aware of what's going on in the world, which is a good thing. So he's not feeling the stress, which could affect his immune system. But he's in a unique situation where we share the care of him with nurses and PSWs. And it's a gamble. It's hard to know what to do, because to take him out of his routine of that is very stressful. And some of those workers want their jobs. So we've just been super diligent, cleaning, disinfecting, and communicating really well with each other. We did have a scare where one of our nurses became ill, but as of yesterday, she was negative for COVID. So every day you just keep your fingers crossed.
April was a big month for you as far as fundraising plans, and everything had to be canceled.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that loss of revenue?
Yeah, April alone, when I do my calculations, we're going to lose about $140,000 in April alone. Our pasta dinner was the biggest contributor of that. And moving forward, I don't know when we'll open. We'll follow what the community does. But my guess is, you know, we're going to lose close to $200,000 by the time all is done. We're not operating, and so we just have, you know, your basic bills. We don't have our staffing costs, but still it's a huge amount of money.
And that is a reality, the fact that, you know, as things have slowed down, costs are a little bit lower, but that never actually keeps pace with the lost revenue.
Exactly. Yeah, we've got a slow bleed. We're looking at some options if this goes beyond the 6-month mark. We're a pretty strong charity, so you know, we're hoping we can ride it out. And we've decided as a board not to ask for money in the meantime from the community. We recognize that places like shelter-based organizations, food banks, soup kitchens, they need the money right now. So we've decided to just sort of sit tight and not ask for any money from the community at this point. When we open, that might be a different, you know, thing, but for now.
Let's talk about when you open. Obviously, nobody knows when you're going to be able to open, but what will the process be to get things back up and running and back to normal?
Yeah, we're looking at a few options. When we look at all of our programs, you know, our most essential ones would be the day programs and the respite. And so we would probably get those first, getting in which coordinators have to come in, which staff are coming back. And we would do a slow start. We wouldn't just open our doors and say, let's go. also because we don't know how this virus, whether it's going to spike back up. And I'd hate to open all of our doors and then be shut down again. So it would be a slow startup when we do decide to open.
And that's part of the difficulty, is so much uncertainty.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't realize the weight of emotional responsibility you have to your clients and your staff. You know, it's just like when people ask the government, when are we going to not be on lockdown? And I know that's what our families and staff are feeling, but I really don't know. Trust me, I would do anything to be working right now.
Steffanie, in your Niagara-on-the-Lake, one of your 2 Niagara-on-the-Lake locations, you have the horses and some other animals there. Obviously, they need care. They need to be taken care of. Do you have staff doing that? Or are you taking care of all of that yourself?
We've had to stop the volunteers from a liability perspective. Too many people opening and closing the doors and touching feed containers. So we have a friend of the family, myself and my son, and we're managing okay with that. Yeah.
Very challenging times, extremely challenging times. Have you moved some of the April fundraising plans to the fall, technically?
Yeah, we've got a tentative date for our pasta dinner in September, and you know, I'm hoping the world turns itself around. So fingers crossed. We have to be optimistic, and we'll make the right decision at the right time. But you know, it's interesting. This was our 20th year of operation. It was supposed to be a year of celebrating, not canceling. So it's a lot to wrap our heads around.
Well, thanks for your time, Steffanie.
You're very welcome. Thank you for sharing our story.